There's a bunch of parties.
Well, that too, but I'm not tripping too much on that. 'Cause if I really want
Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I still ain't done enough. Waking up, admit that he need a chance, and I'm rolling the dice. I do live, I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chilling with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the
Hello. Hello.
What's going on, Fame Entertainment? Oh,
Test. Let's see.
Are we still live?
Who can do it the best?
Because we all said hello and then didn't say anything.
I hate the somebody check YouTube. Oh yeah,
we live.
Yeah. We kind of had to skip past some introductions and get some stuff going. Man, that's 2 weeks in a row. But luckily, we able to do them little switch transition, so you guys didn't get the full, breath
nonsense
of the intro intro music. But it was something about level up, never knew should have had better luck. Trying to see a check, I'm running up. Yeah, I seen a lot, but ain't done enough. Yeah, something like that. What's going on, people? Don, I see you in the chat. Listen, this is the last episode of 2023. Listen, it ain't no secret what's been going on in the games industry. Yes, we're gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk through it. We're not showing images. If you want to go do that stuff in your own time, do what you're gonna do. We're not showing anything on screen. But with all that said, what's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from LV1Gaming.com, and congratulations, you guys leveled up to 274. This is the Double XP podcast. Pick on future what's going on with you, player. Appreciate you coming through and rocking with us. I'm gonna get through these introductions, and we're gonna get right to it, man, because we know what people are wanting to talk about. We know people are wanting to hear, but we're gonna jump right into it with the introduction. First up, my right hand, man, the floor hugger with the hardest of hearts. What's going on, sis?
What's going on, everybody? I'm fully convinced that OBS is slowly turning into printers, where when it senses you need to do something, it just messes all the way up. Me and OBS are about to square up. I'm 100% convinced that's what's happening. Or Discord. I don't know which one. Some of them I'm fighting.
Listen, if anyone knows the issues of us being choppy because we're live, it's me. I spent a bunch of money. I want to say the N-word, rigging my setup to make sure I can hardwire, because I'm hardwired now. So it's no issue. But I appreciate you doing what you normally do on a daily basis. I appreciate you. Next up, if your emails is popping, your DMs is full, that's because communication director trying to get a hold of you, baby. Brand J67, what's going on, Chief?
Well, out here making, folks salty.
Why?
Because I'm playing this game called Once Human. It's I wish it had controller support, because mouse and keyboard's fun and all. It's nice, and you get to hit different angles. That's what he said. But
whoa,
yeah, we got a lot to talk about, because obviously the internet says we can't talk about it. So we got to definitely do the opposite today.
Listen. Next up, DALLAZ.
Man, let's get it.
I was close.
You know what? Y'all can tell. I love it when Fame pretends to be a good person. He lets me win sometimes. The same way I let him win in video games whenever we out and about playing stuff. It's a nice ego booster, and I appreciate it. That being said, we got some pretty interesting subjects to get on today, so I'm ready. Let's get it.
last but not least, one of the hardest working women in the biz. I can't wait to annoy her in person because PAX East is right around the corner. What's going on, Diz?
Hey, happy to be here as always. And yeah, we got some heavy topics to talk about. So let's jump right into it.
For you guys that are rocking with us, do us a big favor. If you can hear the sound of my voice, hit that like button, share the stream out, because we are about to dive into it. And I'm not going to wait till the end of the stream or wait till later on to get in there. People who are late and want to hear our opinions about it can rewind. But I'm going to dive into it, and this is what I want to do, okay? I'm going to go around the panel, okay? Because I don't know if I am necessarily on the same page with everybody in this group. I think that's what's great about this panel is that we're not a bunch of yes men to each other, and we have differences of opinion, and it's all love at the end of the day. But I possibly have a vastly different take than everyone here. So as we know, not too long ago, our ransom group hit up Insomniac and said, "Listen, I got your girl number. If you don't want me to call her, I need two of them things, right?" And so they wanted 50 Bitcoin, which is I believe about $2 million. And in my opinion, anyone who ransoms you, and I'm putting myself in that person's shoes, it's hard to say, I bet I'm gonna give you $2 million and trust you're such a good person that you're not gonna leak my info anyway, right? That's the key, right? So a lot of people are saying pay him. But sending the money over Bitcoin, which it's a decentralized, it's not cash or a check you can trace. You can't really trace cash, but it's not a check or a wire transfer that you can trace. It's Bitcoin, right? It's open source. Like you're not gonna be able to trace down that wallet, right? So there was no win for Insomniac in this, right? So they decided, you know what, we're not going to send the $2 million. And the hacker stood on business. They was like, okay, you're not gonna send the $2 million? Bet. Here go everything, right? Now that's a good chance they would have done this anyway. But for a lot of people, I know they're saying, hey, $2 million to what's $2 million to billions, right? So that's in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Mike. Appreciate you coming through. But the hacker stood on business and they went and released a lot. We're talking gameplay footage from upcoming Wolverine game. We're talking timelines. We're talking their opinions about Xbox and Call of Duty. They released a lot, right? And if you look on social media, I put on social media, man, it looks like somebody died at Insomniac on social media because you got a lot of people saying, condolences. Because, not condolences, but you know what I'm trying to say. Because one of the things also got released was personal information, right? And that to me, I get art and artists not wanting their stuff to be out there, but to me, the biggest thing about that is I'm weary of someone's address being out there because we know how weird and stupid and idiotic gamers can be, and you do something they don't like, people will be at your doorstep. People will be sending stuff to your house. You'll be getting death threats, and these people got husbands, wives, kids, all of that stuff. Right? To me, that's the most weary part. But I think those subsect of people is very small. Majority of people only really cared about the game side of this, right? So you're getting people saying, hey, you should not cover leaks. You should cover leaks. And I'll get into my opinion about that. But Dez, as a person on this panel who's closest to the industry than all of us, right? And someone I highly respect. We talked about this offline, right? We kind of talked about, you kind of helped guide me because I respect you. Right, and I'll say that in the background, and I say it on this camera. I respect you to the fullest, Dez, right? Even if I don't agree with you, don't agree with me, I'm going to hear what you say, and I'm going to take heed to what you say, because I think what you have to say is very important. Even before you was working in the industry as you were now, I just respect you as a person. Right? So we talked about this a little bit before. I do want to get your thoughts on overarching of your thoughts on this and the impact that it's had on can have on a studio, have on a publisher, and what this may be as far as how these leaks are looked at moving forward. Because I'm telling you, before yesterday, people looked at leaks a whole lot differently than what they do now. But I'm gonna let you go, D.
I think part of the issue is like usually when there's a leak, it's like one game and it's a little bit of footage, right? This was like very in depth. Like this showed a lot more than we've ever seen before. I think part of the issue is the people don't want to talk about this is because personal information was leaked. Do you know what I'm saying? So we don't want to give credence to the people who did it. Like we don't want to hype them up even more. I absolutely think they should not have paid the 2 million because that just sets the idea that you can do whatever you want and that, you know, bigger and better, people are going to ask for more money, try to get more stuff to leak, you know, not saying that that's not going to happen anyways, but if that would have set like a whole thing in motion that we don't want. And I'm sure they're aware of that. They're looking at the big picture rather than the small picture. 10 years from now for us is the big picture, but not for a company like Sony. You know what I mean? I think the sad thing is that like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that the leak came from inside the studio. And that makes me upset because it's like, okay, was that someone who, like a developer who felt upset? Was that because you don't hear about leaks in the movie industry the same way you hear about leaks in the game industry?
Yeah.
Which always blows my mind. There are so many leaks in the game industry, and it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, what's happening there? And especially when you have like a big IP that you're working on, like, where's the extra security? So either this is going to change things in the industry to where like they're putting more effort into securing their IPs and their stuff, and maybe this needed to happen for that to be a thing, or you're just going to have people challenge accepted, basically, who are trying to do more and get more money. Like there are always going to be assholes out there who are doing stuff. But I think one of the things that you brought up, which the reason why I personally didn't want to talk about it, because we did talk about this like offline, is because it does involve people's personal information. And the more you talk about it, the more people are going to get that information, the more people will be nosy and try to look up that information. So it's like shining a light on something that I necessarily wouldn't want to shine a light on. And so I also wanted to be very careful with how we talked about this. And I'll say this now, as a Black creator, as a Black-owned podcast, the way we are looked at already versus how our white counterparts are looked at already is already unbalanced, right? So even if they get judged, we are almost definitely going to get judged harder for doing something that they asked us not to do. So that's what I'm saying when I say I'm reading the room. You know what I mean? Like, kind of funny. Yeah, go ahead and talk about it. Kind of funny set. Like, he's good. We're still building ourselves. And we're still trying to get those like those relationships with Xbox, Insomniac, and all of that. So when they do their research, you know, they do look into things like that. So that's why I'm saying, like, we can talk about it, yeah, but let's just be very careful about how we talk about it. Let's be tactical. But yeah, that's my piece on it.
B, I'm gonna swing to you because you immediately went into our writers' room, and
Yeah.
if you guys, you know, don't know, LV1gaming.com, we have a group of writers, and you immediately went into the writers' room and start setting boundaries about reporting, or not reporting, about writing and talking about this, right? And ultimately, it ended up being we didn't publish anything to our site about it, right? It just, you know, there's nothing else that we could say that's not being said as far as, hey, this happened, because we don't want to deep dive into it, right? But B, again, I want to let you get your piece, because I don't know, because it was, you had sent me some tweets that some people were saying as well, and I was like, I don't like that, because I do believe some people are abusing their power when it comes to this information. Like, how can you tell people who are creators, who are journalists, hey, everyone just stop talking? Like, I understand the balance, but you can't say no one gets to talk about it because of A, right? Because I'm sorry, there's been Capcom, they've had personal information leaked, and there wasn't this, you can't talk about it, or you, like, again, I'm trying not to dive into my points, but B, I'm gonna swing to you and get your thoughts, because some people I believe go ahead, B.
Well, first and foremost, the one thing that I want to put out there is this isn't the first time we've had to pull this trigger, or me as communications director have pulled this trigger. Last time was with Rockstar's leaks. Now, that was because of avoiding a lawsuit and DMCA and strikes and all the things that come with covering content, because it's more than just us. Like folks who didn't know here in the podcast, watching the podcast, we have a whole team, we have a whole website. There's so much that happens outside of you guys seeing us a few times a week on camera. So, and watch, it's funny how I get all serious as Baron serious hat. Most people don't see me like this. but no, we're more than just us. Sorry. Like, we are more than just us. So decisions we make are for the entirety of the team. Because I know there's going to be a Sony game that folks want. There's going to be an Xbox game that somebody on our team wants to review. And I would hate for a fleeting moment in the, not these folks' lives aren't a fleeting moment, but the news of this all is a fleeting moment. And I would hate for this one moment, like, is this news piece that important for us to cover that is worth risking all the goodwill we've been building up, all in all? But on an integrity note, this is the part that bothered me, was seeing the different PR folks out there saying outright, hey, if you cover this, we're making a list and we're blacklisting you. Now, the part that bothers me about that is we live in a world where, I forgot what his name was, not the snitch, the leaker, I forgot who he was.
That guy, I know who you're talking about, that guy.
Okay. He still gets press events, he still gets review codes, he still gets, now, nothing against him, I'm not mad at him. Not mad at him. Because he's only doing what he's rewarded for. You know, why is it the integrity stick is swung at smaller people who are trying to get up to a point to where we could do what we want without worry? That's the thing that always bugs me. Now, I don't want to be a smut site. I never have been. I don't want to be a shiny moment site.
Yeah.
That's easy and cheap. You know, no offense to people who do it, because there's always a place for that. But the problem with that is you're constantly having to do something new. I'm old. I'm 30. I'm about to be 33. Like, I'm old in this space.
It's not.
I know, but in terms of everybody we around and who are doing things in adjacent, most folks is 26 and under. You know, so I'm not the type, like, I have no problem pivoting, but I don't want to constantly have to redo because of what's hot. That's not how I envisioned level 1. Stability is key for me. Now, whether that's my age, the fact that I'm a father, husband, you know, there's a bunch that goes along with that, but stability is key. So for me, rocking the boat for no reason other than to be the 10,000th person to say what's already been said, it's not worth it. But knowing that the rules would only apply to us, and people along our belt, people within our space lateral to us, sucks horribly. And that's so wrong, because you know damn well your Asmongold's, your 10,000K subscriber plus people, legit subs. You're not gonna block them out from a review code because they said something around what's going on with this very newsworthy moment. This is one of the most newsworthy things in gaming right now. For reasons out of this world. I mean, the list is long, whether it's Sony's horrible security to the point that most people are afraid of putting their credit card on their account. I've been hacked. I haven't been scammed, but I've been hacked. My Sony account has been hacked at least 4 times, to the point to where I have like 3 different methods, the whole authorize and then text, and then, you know, then you log in and then you confirm. Like, I have all of that for a very specific reason, because I've had my account locked out and hacked multiple times. Not with any other platform but Sony. So knowing that this is a very common thing, this is extremely newsworthy that it extends past their user base, but to the people developing games for them. So this is a huge thing, but back to the whole point of me as communications director, because I didn't say much about this behind the scenes outside. And Fame will tell you, everybody here will tell you, I literally put one message and it was like, basically, stay away from this one. It's a team. it's more than just us here. You see, there's a bunch of people who lean on us, who hope to keep a steady, stable, reliable place for them to build up their resume, for them to work on their skills, their craft, or to just get a chance. And I would hate to throw that away on one piece of news.
It's a game.
But you know, on the other side of that, how dare your big Lombax head ass tell people, you know what I mean? Like, how do you, while we talking about integrity, leverage a imaginary relationship, a potential relationship that you may or may not have had to begin with, against people who are hopefully tactfully just talking about a very big thing that happened within our industry and our community.
It's business.
It's business, and this is bro. You're talking about a company.
That, but
no, but let me tell you, integrity is number one, and the number one thing I can do is get on here and tell you guys that as a communications director, I say keep our hands off of it because it's not worth it. Because now it's business.
Well, I do think that's a reasonable thing to say, but I wouldn't link the word integrity to that. I think that's for the team, absolutely. Like, you doing what you need to do to protect your people.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to happen.
Yeah. We're gonna take losses. And that's why we're doing what we're doing here. And that's why but I'm gonna tell you, you're talking about a company who has little to no communications across the board, across numbers. Like, so it's not even just because we're on the smaller end of the creations, content creating scale and journalism scale. You got folks with big numbers who hear nothing from this company.
Exactly. So
already knowing that we're fighting an uphill battle, that almost, for what other folks, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be quiet because I know we weren't intending to talk about it this long, and I think I'm saying more of this because I didn't say anything to these guys behind the scenes.
Well, again, I mean,
there's just so much going on, but this is real.
Discussing the impact. Discussing the impact of what happened. That's what this is. I mean, we're not diving into what the thing, but I think the conversation around it is the topic.
It's a very important conversation.
And check this out, because I just seen somebody bring up the review score integrity issue. That is something that we've never had an issue with. We've given low scores and gotten quoted by the people we've reviewed their game. Like, they've literally quoted us in their response in a positive light. Like,
a whole review roasting a game, and they were like,
thank you. Yeah, no.
But that's the place that it comes from. It's coming from a very honest and it's coming from the place of a fan who just wants to see these things be good.
Yeah. There's constructive criticism and then there's bashing. One thing we don't do here at level 1 on any level is bashing. Yeah. We'll call out bullshit when we see it because it is what it is. And the scenario and this is as the communication director, as the person who talks to these folks and plays fetch and goes out and look for interviews and codes and whatnot, as the face and the email and the person who's reaching out, telling you 1,000%, that was a horrible thing to do by putting people in that situation and saying like, hey, if you cover this, we're putting you on a list. That's horrible because Lord knows you're not going to deny the guy with 25,000 subs who had, like, you're not going to tell them no when they request a code or when they go over your head and talk to somebody else they know in the space. But then you'll tell us no because it's easy to brush us under the rug.
Yes.
And that's not just insane. It's more like, how dare you?
It's not even really, like insane or how dare you. That's just life. Like, as a Black person, you should understand that is just life.
And you can say that about literally any situation.
Yes.
And that's still
it's unethical.
It sucks ass.
It sucks.
That's why they're doing whole movies about it.
But the fact that it sucks,
fiction, magical, the American Society for Magical Needs. They literally have
get this white girl movie.
Movies. They got literal 2 movies coming out about this shit.
Yep.
that magical Negro conversation is a whole nother. I had way.
Yeah.
It's a whole
just to
nother
say about
conversation.
That man say, but and with the understanding of that's just how it is. That's not an excuse to not examine it, and that's not an excuse to not call it out for what it is. And
I agree. But I think like what Baron was saying is that like you have a whole team of people who depend on you. So if you yourself want to call it out, if you yourself want to get on and like talk about it, then that's you. That's on you. It's only affecting you. But when you're trying to build a company or you're trying to build something, you can't just like go off on your emotions on what you feel about a situation. Because I think it's messed up, obviously. But like, if I can't, there's certain things I can't say because I work for freedom.
And in this case, it's not even just going off of how you feel. People would literally be reporting the facts. And not even all of them, because there's a lot of sensitive stuff there that shouldn't be talked about. If we talk about ethics, there's a lot of sensitive stuff there that should not be mentioned in any way. However, the event itself, the effects of it, as we talking about, and then there's more details there that are important and that are really important news for people in this space.
Right.
A lot.
I want to read something to you.
Hey, wait,
hold on. I want to read something.
Real quick. Fame, real quick. It's really easy, and it's funny, because I talk about this with Dez all the time. It's really easy to not be on a moral high ground. That's not what I want to say. That's basically what I'm saying. When you don't have a bunch of people behind you. It's really easy. Because I can sit here and tell you 1,000% truth. This is a shitty ass situation. Nobody should be held hostage on telling the news. Period. Point blank. Period. News and facts should be discussed. We're journalists. This is what we do. But knowing that I have an entire brand that we've been working on for multiple years based on this one news piece, in my opinion, this one news piece, and then it sucks, right? Because then it's easy to say, well, what about the next one? What about the one after that?
That part.
What
And
about
that's
what?
And that's the point I'm about to lead into, because I want to read this out, then I want to get to her because I want to hear from her first, okay? Because I think there's some nuance to this that further makes me upset about, not necessarily upset, but it's weird that we have to have this type of conversation for this particular developer because we hadn't before. I'm going to read this out. This is a tweet from Tom Warren, right? He's one of my favorite follows on Twitter, right? I want to read one of his initial tweets to someone, and then what he tweeted later on in the day, right? So someone tweeted out, I really feel for Insomniac crew, not just because it's putting all their work out there, but it's also their lives. It's awful. This isn't a leak. It's malicious breach of that endangers people. Won't be covering the contents of it at GameSpot, right? This is someone from GameSpot. So what Tom Warren says as a reply, I'm genuinely curious on what's the difference here over covering the Capcom hack or the GTA 6 hack. Y'all covered the contents of both in detail. GameSpot, kind of funny, just did a leak, and someone put a compilation of all the leaks they did and hacks they did, and people say, well, people's personal information didn't get leaked. With Capcom, yes, it did, and it was still talked about in detail, right? So then later on in the day, he has a longer tweet that I thought like, man, this is complete opposite on what you tweeted earlier. Did someone come talk to you? I'm just speculating. I don't know. He says the Insomniac hack might be a turning point for how we think about game leaks in the media, dev community, and fan base. We've seen similar hacks in the past, most notably the Capcom and GTA 6 leaks. These were widely covered without the types of editorial decisions and discussions we're seeing today, which is what I was just saying. Something clearly feels different this time around, and I think it's because it's Insomniac. They're beloved developers that create awesome games, and there's a real emotional attachment to that and a desire from many not to harm them. I think that's understandable from fellow developers and even journalists. We're all human after all. Hacking feels more intrusive than someone finding your marketing materials early. We are all learning from the industry discussion and editorial decisions being made here. I hope it's useful and lasting dialogue for when this inevitably happens against another game studio in the future. And to me, how I interpret this is, if we love you, this is bad. If we don't like you, it's all good. And I have a freaking issue with that, because everyone's on their high horse saying, but it's people's livelihoods, it's people's personal information. But when it was Capcom and you don't like them that much, it's fine. He's telling you in this tweet, what it's become, it's Insomniac. We love Insomniac, so everyone should feel bad and act like someone died. And everyone needs to stop it because it's Insomniac. To me, either you do it for everyone or you do it for no one, and you cannot pick and choose. You cannot pick and choose who we're going to not cover the news for just because you like developer A. It's not right, and that's what he says in here. Because he specifically says because it's Insomniac. That's wrong.
Okay, can I ask a question? What is the issue with? So I want to know if a studio says, "Hey, can you not cover this?" And if you do cover it, we're probably not going to want to work with you. What is the issue with saying, "Okay, I'm not going to cover it"? What? Because I don't love Capcom, and I don't love.
That's a good.
I don't love Insomniac. No, because if it's their company property, and they're like, "Hey, we don't want you to cover this,"
it's no longer,
or we're not going to work with you.
The information itself is not company property.
The information is still their property. It's just out there, right?
It's one thing to be posting the screenshots, posting the videos. There's nothing to have a conversation around it.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if a company comes to you or posts something and says, "Hey, we'd like you not to cover this," and if you do cover it, then we probably don't want to have that relationship with you. What is the issue with you as a journalist saying, "Okay, I'm not going to cover it. I'll let whoever else wants to cover it, but I'm not going to talk about it"? Why are we so upset that they're asking us not to cover it? Well, that's what I want to know.
They're not saying not to cover it. That's not the problem. Insomniac hasn't said one thing about the cover it. It's the community and people with power.
Oh, well, why are we caring about what they say?
Because they have the power to blacklist you.
We're talking about PR people.
Oh, PR people.
We are saying PR people from different organizations outside of Insomniac and Sony. Not even within Sony. I'm talking about PR people. I'm talking PR folks within the competition to Sony.
Oh, I thought this was PR people.
No,
who are working with Sony.
If you guys are not in our industry, I know that sounds, but this side where we talk about this all day, if you piss off one PR person,
you pissed them all off.
You're
it's a very small circle.
You're fucked. There's literally like 6 PR companies that handle most AAA titles.
Mm-hmm.
6.
So are we mad at them?
Sucks.
We're mad at them.
Yeah.
We're mad at them.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're mad at the PR companies.
We're not mad at Insomniac, because Insomniac, I don't think they've even said anything.
But even if the PR companies are like, we're not going to work with you, blah, blah, blah. Like, what is the issue with just being like, all right, fine, then I'm not going to cover it. Like, I get it. I get where we want to be like, we're journalists and this is our job and we should be able to talk about anything we want to talk about. But we're not just journalists, right? Like, there are other things that we could talk about within the game industry. I get that this is a big ass story. I understand that.
Yeah.
But also
with that,
go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I'm finished that before I say
No, go ahead.
The actual issue is, who are you to tie people's hands? You don't have that right. Now you wholly have
all of our content.
They're the one who give us the codes. Like, they're the ones who help us create our content.
It's still, is it not a messed up thing to do?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Is it not? Could it not be considered wrong?
All of us here,
that's the issue. That is wrong.
1,000%. We think it's shitty.
Yes.
1,000. I don't cuss on this. Like, I don't cuss like that online. This is shitty. This is extremely fucked up.
And we are giving it, like, we giving it grace though, as if it's not.
No,
is what I'm saying.
No. I'm acting on behalf of the benefit of this whole entire organization that's behind me. That's bigger than my face. I could take egg on the face to benefit the company. No pause. I'll say it just like that, because it is like that. I have no problem taking a shot for the company Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say it's real. Everybody wants to be a face and do this shit until it's time for moments like this. These moments suck ass. It's easy for me, bro. Do you know how easy it would have been for me to get on Twitter and quote tweet one of the PR folks that I most likely had emails with and go, "Hey, this is extremely fucked up. I can't believe you're doing this. Why would you tie us up like that?" I could have easily did that, and that would have been
you
what?
would have right to start that conversation.
Now,
I'm not saying that you. That's what
but
you
let me
done.
hit you with this one.
But
Let me hit you. No, let me hit you.
Hold on.
Let me hit you with
You
this
guys are
one. Let me hit you with this one.
Okay, I just want to say I'm loving the conversation, but I want to make sure that everyone's able to figure. I know Desert got cut off, and then Dallas went. I want to make everyone's not kind of passionate about this, and I love the conversation because we're having the conversation about the impact of this leak, not necessarily the leak in itself, right? And that's how I will make sure everyone understands that is the conversation, because I don't believe a lot of people are having this conversation. We're not talking about the leaks, but the impact around it, because I think there is a massive implications to this, because it's, for me, I want consistency from the people who hold the power over us moving forward, because I'm sorry if every game coming out of Rockstar gets leaked over the next 10 years, then I want you to be on that same high horse and say, don't talk about it or I'm gonna blacklist you. My issue 100%. Is that where was this a couple of days ago for Suicide Squad Killer Justice League? Where was this before Capcom? Like, where was this? And what bothers me is now it's a full stop pause.
Yep.
Is it because Disney
and not even just it
owns this stuff? Do you think that's what it is? Because, I mean, like, I wonder why these PR companies are, like, being so, about this. And it could be some things that have been said in the background that we have no idea about. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, like, and they have to say it, because Disney does not play around with their money or their IPs. So that's also something that we need to take into account, that, like, they may have wanted to treat this like any other leak. But, like, the powers that be were like, nah, listen, you need to say something because we don't want people talking about this. So I think, like, while it's okay to say, like, this is fucked up, like, the PR people shouldn't be doing that, we don't know the entire story of what's happening behind the scenes. So I don't want to, like, be throwing blame on PR people and they're just doing their job. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think it's a bigger conversation, and I think as time goes, we'll find out more.
You're right, Des. Again, my biggest issue was if you're doing your job and your job is to mitigate and protect big companies, then do it for every company, not just this one in particular company. And that's my issue, because developers, publishers' phone numbers, addresses have been leaked, and no one batted an eye. Everyone says it's bad, but let's put on screen. GTA 6 can get leaked, and their images and stuff is on screen, right?
And then there's this
stuff for other companies get leaked. It's on screen. People are talking about it. There's constant, bigger creators, smaller creators. Everyone talks about it, and no one cares. But they care now. That's internally. That's my issue.
There's a bigger problem than it's just being messed up. There's the question of what's the boundary here? What's the limit? How far can this go?
Do you think it's ethical to talk about leaks?
Yeah, absolutely.
You think it's ethical to talk about leaks? I mean, if we're talking about
yes,
to speak on the fact that they happen, right? A leak happened. That's all you need to say. But to go into depth about it, leaks overall, do you think that's ethical? If we're talking about ethical and what's right, do you think that's ethical? Like,
yes.
It's messed up to have something leaked, right? You know
now,
how
it's not just
developers.
Yes, and there needs to be a certain level of tact. There needs to be some
that's the ethical.
There.
But that's the ethical
let
part.
Let him finish.
And as long as that is intact, then yes, it is ethical to talk about it.
Okay, but where now I'm gonna ask you the question you just asked us. So where's the line? Because I know for me, let me tell you what I envisioned for this and why I'm speaking so freely as the very person who said, "Hey guys, don't write nothing," because my number one worry was somebody was gonna post some screenshots and then we're gonna get strikes. We're gonna get cease and desist, which are things we've dealt with before. These are things that really happen. It's not some random wild hair worry. These, we know, we know. But so that was my number one worry, and that's why I wanted to do it here, because we could talk about it.
To answer your question, To answer your question, we all know where that limit is. We all said it when we first started this conversation. Hey, listen, when it comes to people's personal information, when it comes to the actual when it comes to a certain amount of content within these leaks, when we all knew that was a line not to cross. It's not it might seem more nebulous than it actually is, but we know what line not to cross.
I don't agree.
But not everybody knows our ethics, though. That's the thing.
And that's true.
Go ahead, Hugger.
TMZ would be seen as unethical, but some people would boast TMZ up. I think the parasocial relationship a lot of people have with this company, because it is a loved company. It has made some of our favorite stories. Just look at the backlash with Spider-Man 2 not winning a single award at the Game Awards. People have a parasocial relationship with it, when at the end of the day, it is business. And that's what Baron is also trying to say, I think, in a nice way, is us not talking about this nitty gritty, because you can still talk about this. You can ethically, and that's a nebulous word, because where does ethics fall and all that? But we can talk about it, but for a business sense, because we are the faces, but there is 6, 7 other people that are behind us that don't care about this, or maybe they do care about this, but they want to review that game. So we, unfortunately, have to take a stance where this is not right. And Baron's right. You can moral high ground from the back, and on your side, on Asmongold can say whatever he wants, woo woo woo. But we are a company, and we have to think of everybody. Because I think we are all at a point as gamers where, when the E3 leaks came out, we know to kind of like leave people's addresses and stuff alone. We know to kind of like, that's what most people have been saying, and I like that we agree that that's messed up that they leaked that. Everybody's kind of in agreement with that. And we all get that. I enjoy that. But it's just like, I think we gotta not be too oof about this, because another one is gonna happen.
Well,
that was good.
Yeah, because
that's what I'm saying.
This is my get down. This isn't the first time we've ignored a major leak. This is just consistent for us.
And then
this is who we are.
That parasocial relationship that Hugger talked about, is that not the very thing that makes it newsworthy?
It depends on what kind of. If you're talking about entertainment news, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, and this is the thing, right?
That's what we do.
And this is but is that
I don't
what
think we just
want
do
to
that.
do? You know what I mean? Like, because we could do the super hot take all day, but we don't. We don't. That's not who we are.
And it's not even a hot take. That's the crazy part. The only thing that makes it even seem that way is the fact that PR companies want to tie your hands.
Oh no, this is definitely this is a hot take because of period. Even if the PR companies didn't want to tie the hands,
it's a hot situation. The takes that we've had thus far.
Oh no, I used that word wrong. I'm saying this situation is hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hot.
Absolutely.
And do we, as an already struggling organization,
that's my point,
want to burn our hands because everybody else is?
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Let everybody else talk about it, because a lot of people are already talking about it. So let them talk about it. We could literally say, yeah, man, this was messed up that happened. But if you want to find out more information, there are tons of other outlets out there talking about it.
This is fucked on 1.5 million levels. Completely fucked. All right,
and they're not going to watch our podcast to figure out what we're talking about. They're just going to blanket statement. And unfortunately, that is the reality of where we are. But we have worked too damn hard to let one story
burn your bridges.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Burn a bridge
that
you
stance on it.
were never likely to walk across the beginning.
You don't know that though, so that's like that's
though.
really pessimistic thinking. You don't know that because,
and I don't mean
for an
us
example,
when I say that.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, you have Baron out here at these events, networking and everything. It is a small circle, my guy.
These people.
I
have to
small
look these people in the face, bro. I met Radic. I met CD Projekt Red. I'm sitting here having drinks with CD Projekt Red's PR people. I have
he
to
had
look
a meeting with the owner of Stride who does PR.
Bro, I have to look these people in the face. And
it's business.
It's fucking business, bro. Like, this is business. And it sucks. It sucks.
Let me ask this.
It's not worth it.
before we move on, let me ask this. Give me, Baron. Give me a big developer name. Give me a big developer. Anyone.
CD Projekt Red.
If CD Projekt Red gets hacked, ransom, and starts released, will the people telling you not to talk about it will I'm talking about moving forward, starting now? The Insomniac, people are saying, well, it's different now because Insomniac, or everything's changed now because of Insomniac, right? If this happens to CD Projekt Red tomorrow, will those leaks and hacks be covered in detail? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is why I brought up Disney, and we don't know what Disney has put in place. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're all like, well, they're saying we can't cover this, but you don't know what's happened behind the scenes. So this is like a repetitive, we're going in circles.
Yeah.
We do not have that information. So, like, there's no point in saying, like, well, we cover this one if they leak, because we don't know what happened.
Because my point is, you people are telling you, hey, things are changed now, right? Leaks are bad, and I'm sorry, it's hard for me to believe that every single journalist and all the PR people, everyone just works for Disney. It's hard to believe that, right? Or they got
and I
background.
don't think that.
But we got people from major publications telling you, hey, I've covered all of these leaks, but now moving forward, leaks are bad. And then the next day, hey, see, the Witcher 3 got leaked. Let's go over the screenshots. Like, to me, that's, and I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, well, what Disney? I want to give the benefit of the doubt that reporter A at GameSpot or Kotaku got Disney behind them telling them no. I don't believe that. I believe moving forward, what's been happening before Insomniac will continue to happen after Insomniac, and people are just going to protect this one developer. Now, mind you, I think every developer should be protected. They should be protected, every single one, right?
Right.
But don't tell me that I could punch guy 1, but you better not punch guy 2, but then go punch guy 3. You should have punched none of them.
So
all punches should be bad.
Right, but I'm asking who you're really angry at, because I'm confused. Who are you upset with? Are you upset with the people who are basically being two-faced and saying, like, I'm not going to cover this anymore, but then sit and cover something else? Like, who are you mad at?
I'm mad at everyone as a whole, because I'm going to tell you one thing that I know to be a fact. There's people who are not in PR that can get you blacklisted from these companies just as fast and just as quick. You got content creators that say, you know what? Don't rock with them. Yep. Right? So it's not just PR. It's creators who can get you blacklisted just as quick. And my issue is, I guarantee those creators will cover the next leak in detail, regardless of who information got leaked, and they don't care. But I'm mad at, again, we're talking about impact, not the leak itself. The impact that this has on what's coming out, what's going forward. I'm mad at the hypocrisy of people. Because again, you can't say don't punch one person, don't punch nobody. That's what I'm mad at.
I don't think you should be covering leaks anyways, because if we go back to, like, talking about ethics, we know when something leaks, it's a negative impact. Period. You know it's a negative. It doesn't matter if it's personal information or not. It's negatively impacting these people. So moving forward, just don't cover leaks.
It's because you can't coverage of the leaks. No,
it absolutely is, though. Why do you think it's such a big deal when that information gets leaked?
It's the leak itself, the fact that information is out there for people.
Right, but and then when you cover it, you're pushing it out to more people. That's part of the impact. Why do you think they're like, they don't want people to talk about it? Yeah.
Right, but that's the thing, for trying to cover it up, trying so hard to pretend it didn't happen, is going to cause everybody who didn't care.
I don't think they're trying to pretend it didn't happen. But I think the more people talk about it, the more people find out.
Scorched earth. What's the difference? You going scorched earth.
The company themselves hasn't said anything yet, so
that
people
is
that
true
are affected
too.
Haven't said anything.
Yeah, right. And that's a big wild part for me, that all of this is going on literal outskirts of this company. That's the trippiest thing about all of this. That the negative, of course, is happening internal, right? Like, we're not disrespecting that part. But from the clear first, like, hit of what's going on, you got everybody outside of it having something to say and contribute around how people should respond to this. And it's super weird.
When is it okay to talk about? Do we wait until the game's released? Do we wait till the whole slate is out? Do we talk about it piece by piece as the games come out? Do we never acknowledge it again?
You mean like when you report on it?
Yes.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Like, when is it okay for people to?
To me, acknowledging that it happened doesn't. To me,
fine.
in my opinion,
Yeah, acknowledging that it happened doesn't.
We acknowledge, because to me,
anything.
what we've done in these last 47 minutes is acknowledging that it happened, and we're talking about the impact that it has moving forward. We're not posting screenshots. We're not talking about what Wolverine looked like. That's what we're not doing. To me, if there is someone that's watching this that has some type of power, you got to understand, these last 47 minutes, we're not talking about what we saw if you looked at it. That's not what we're talking about, right? And to me, that's the difference. And the conversation we had is the conversation that I want people to say that conversation is okay. You can't say mum's the word, because you can't tell me that, hey, we can't have the conversation we've had for the last 45 minutes because this conversation in every aspect is okay. We haven't deep dove about anything about what was shown. This is
you have every right to talk about how a situation has affected you. And how has affected your company. And that's perfectly okay. You know what I mean? Like, they cannot blackball you for that because it has affected you. You're a game journalist. You work in the industry. So it's okay to talk about those things. And that's what you and I were talking about, Fame. Like, we just want to be very tactical about how we're going to have this conversation.
And that's why I said this conversation is going one way in particular. And that's why I want to have a conversation. I brought it up because I knew you would say, I was waiting for somebody to ask me, and Deb's like, hey, and we had this conversation pre-show because I knew the way I wanted this to go. And I want anyone, if you see me on Twitter, if you see this podcast, you got to understand, we're going to have the conversation about it. We're going to talk about its impact. We have to. I'm sorry. Integrity on my end. I'd be a fool to hop on here and say, all right, y'all, we're going to talk about how PlayStation also Xbox 361. Not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to, right? Oh, let's talk about the Game Awards.
Talking about the Game Awards and like their lack of not talking about the layoffs. Do you know what I'm saying? And how it's impacted? Without going into detail, you can say like, yo, we're just recognizing that this has been a hard year. Like, it's been a great year for games, so it's also been a hard year for the industry, and move on. And that's basically what we're doing. We're just talking about it more in detail about how it's impacting us and how it's impacting other creators, and that is okay. I am here for that conversation. But like,
here's another question. Now that you've said that,
this could be the last point, and we got to move on after this. Go ahead, D.
Us knowing that, we all think that we've been fair. Nobody's been rude, mean, or disrespectful during this conversation. I'd like to think that we had a good, insightful conversation, that if somebody from Insomniac saw it, they would think no ill, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Let's say somebody from Insomniac does see it and they do feel a way that we even decided to mention it to begin with. Do you regret the conversation?
No.
We can't control how other people feel. We can, and I feel like Fame has said multiple times throughout this, the intent of what our conversation was meant to be focused on. So if somebody from Insomniac or whatever PR studio sees this and is like, well, they did this, they intentionally wanted, they were probably going to blackball us anyway.
You're meaning
you know
to
what
be
I'm
obtuse.
saying?
Yeah.
You're trying to be dumb if you don't understand.
Okay, so what could one of us have said? What would have been the limit for one of us that would have taken it too far?
Hey man, so the clause on Wolverine.
I don't think we can get into
that. So the actual content.
Keep going into a circle again.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
and then honestly,
I do want to move on. I'm sorry.
I love you guys,
I do want to move on.
It's the last show before Christmas, and I want to go spend time with family.
I would love to do this conversation, afterwards, or we do a whole nother video about it. Please, everyone on this panel has access to the level 1. Please make a video about it. I got no issue with that. That way you can get your whole full piece in. But I literally cut a topic so we can get the show done. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate Baron, Dallas, Dez, Hugger. I appreciate every one of these guys' input, and I love the fact that we don't all agree on this. I love it, because to me, that's how conversations move forward. And That's just what it is. I want to go to a happier moment, right? Bobby Kotick is gone. He's leaving, right? I think we can all agree this is probably one of the best things that's the news we could have gotten, other than, we talked about PlayStation. I'll sell the Xbox 3-1, right? Bobby Kotick is gone. There's a new power regime over at Xbox. I want to go around the panel. B, so that unfortunately, I'm sorry if I cut you off on the last topic, but I want you to go first on this one. Bobby Kotick is finally gone, or finally leaving Activision Blizzard. How much does, is this sort of remove the stain? Because it wasn't just him. It was a good number of people, but a lot of people feared that Bobby's going to be able to stick around for the next year or two. But we're hearing that he's gone, although he's $500 million richer.
This, you know what? It's a positive look. Now, who knows if, the structure of the place was adjusted, but come on, you gotta put all of it on one person and cut their head off publicly. And that's what happened. They swung the social guillotine at him, and he's walking away with a lot of money. And I think they look at this as a clean slate, and a lot of people will look at it as a clean slate. Now, what happens from this point forward is going to fall under Xbox. So hopefully they go through and clean up like they claim they would. So,
Des, I'm gonna swing. I'm trying to find this exact detail. Des, I'm gonna swing it over to you. Something I want to read out about this.
Oh, well, I mean, I think it's a good move. You guys know, Activision Blizzard had a lot of issues anyways, where California was actually coming in and suing them for Microsoft had they had to clean house. If they didn't, I think that would have left a lot of people upset, a lot of people angry. So I think we knew when they were going into the merger and doing the deal that was just going to be a natural thing that happened, and we're just seeing that now. So hopefully, and also just the diverse team that the top Xbox people have, the people who are always on, Phil and Sarah, it makes me feel like they are really going to take in consideration of cleaning this up and making it a better company overall for people to work at. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I know it's going to affect things more internally. We're not going to see a lot of it on the outside. Thank you. But I think better working environments create better spaces to make better games. So
shout out to Don, longtime supporter of Level 1, becoming a channel member. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you showing the support. You've always shown support, even being here, liking, being subscribed to us already, be commenting and chatting. Thank you for becoming a channel member. It helps out a whole bunch as we continue to try to grow here at Level 1. I do want to read this out here really quickly. So a new internal memo from Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer reveals that moving forward, top Activision Blizzard King executive will report to Microsoft Gaming President and Content Studios, Matt Booty. So you repeatedly reported under Kotick, you will now report to Booty, okay? Other chief ABK officers will answer the Microsoft Gaming executives to continue to help the transition through March 2024, which a point will presumably be depart the firm as well. And then I'm bad at names, Humam Shakini, which is the Blizzard and King vice chair, and Lulu, which is a fan favorite amongst Xbox fans and fanboys on Twitter, are also leaving at the end of December and January, respectively, with the latter helping ABK Communications to move to new leadership under Xbox Communications lead Kari Perez. So that's a lot of moving and shaking. It looks like, because we know for the most part, for a good while, Bethesda's Insomniac just kind of left to do their own thing. But even now, you got the heads of Bethesda, the CEOs and stuff, and then you got the people over Activision Blizzard King. They're all going to report to Matt Booty now. It's not going to be where people say, oh, well, they're their own thing and they're their own thing. No, ultimately, they're all got to hail to the Booty and be responsible to Booty and make sure they know Booty is in charge and you need to praise Booty. Right?
I love it.
These are all my favorite statements ever spoken from a human.
All hail Booty.
We definitely ended it on a high note. I think this is fantastic. My biggest fear with Xbox as it grows is that
They can do their thing over there. They can do the thing over there, and then chaos ensues. No, someone's responsible, right? So we got the beautiful Sarah Bond, who's always been my. I want to get 2 minutes with Sarah Bond to talk about video games.
I would love that. I'm trying to.
My Lord, right? But this is good for Xbox, man. You remove some people. You make sure. Thank you, P Confusion. In Booty we trust, right? You make sure that they're reporting to Xbox, because the last thing we need, and this is one of the fears about Microsoft and Xbox growing so big, you got so many studios, is chaos, right? Them be doing this reporting structure, and hopefully you got the right people in charge at Activision Blizzard King, and for the next 10 years. Things should be a certain way, especially with them having to put games, on PlayStation. After that, all hell may break loose as far as what they do with their games go. But as far as structure goes, I like this. I like the fact they're restructuring. And I'm happy Bobby's gone, because I'm sorry. For instance, there's nothing like this. If something like this happened at level 1, you gotta cut it. I'm responsible. Ultimately, I'm responsible, right? I just hate the fact that he gets a big old fat check on the way out.
There was a time where he was good. He was probably great at one time. But
before he started.
Listen, what a conversation we had today. I had other stuff I wanted to go over, but I'm not going to. Because I think this is a good way to end it. We ended on a high note. We appreciate that. We're going to be gone for like 2 weeks, right? We're returning on January 10th. We'll have Kofi making his return to the show. And then I'm also in conversations with ACG. He's already agreed to come on. I'm hunkering down a date with ACG. I think that'd be one heck of an episode if you guys are into one of the best reviewers on YouTube. I mean, guy is simply one of the best, and one of the best followers on Twitter, man. So we'll be hunkering down a date. As soon as we know it, we'll let you guys know. Listen, you won't be seeing 15. Well, you might see 15 minutes of fame. You know how I get down. But Cogs and Machine, Double XP will be MIA for the next couple of weeks as we enjoy the holidays. I want y'all to do the same, right? I want you guys to go out and enjoy yourself, play some video games. I'll be streaming when I can. I just got a couple of codes that wait a minute. I want to get some games away. Hold on. I want to get some games away. Shout out to our friends over at Merge. We are partnered with Merge Games, and they sent us some codes to give away. I screwed up on one of them. I don't know how I lost this code, but I lost one. So let's give some codes away. These are Steam codes, and I'm gonna drop them in the chat as we. Man, this is slow.
I'll be mad if I grab it.
Thank you guys for an amazing 2023. You let us do so much this year, and we grew more than we ever thought. And you cry, I cry. It's making me emotional.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's happening next year.
I'm not crying. You crying? Shut up.
Dallas came towards the end of the year. I came on in the middle.
You're not here, bro. You're a figment of our imagination.
Also, I'm not crazy.
To make sure there's no bots in the chat, and I don't think there is. The question mark is the letter after A. That's the first game. And this is all thanks to our friends over at Merge.
But I can't read.
Good. You can't redeem it no way. I'll keep talking to the people. I gotta type this in because I can't copy and paste it. Sorry.
Well, you know what? Honestly, though, this has been super dope.
It has been, and I appreciate that we all talked, and like at the end of the day, we still love each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We can't agree all the time, otherwise that's crazy.
All right, the question mark is WXY. My bad, don't call me dumb. The letter after Y. And I got one more. I gotta do the alphabet in my head too. I got one more. I had another code, but somehow I screwed it up. But shout out to our friends at Merge who gave us some codes to give away to our community, and that's what I'm doing right now.
What's up?
Our family that plays ESO tomorrow, the New Life Festival, the Winter Festival starts tomorrow. So
that's true. There's a bunch of games on Steam Winterfest, so you guys should check that out. Like, I think that went up today.
It's gonna be good.
Bunch of stuff on sale.
And the last code is up on the screen. The question mark is the number before 8. So
I want to play Fortnite Lego. We should play Fortnite Lego. We should stream Fortnite Lego.
I'm down.
I'm down. Okay, we just need to pick a day.
Hugger's not down.
I don't play.
Let's do it.
PlayStation,
Let's
but
do
I
it.
watch.
Let's do it this Friday night.
I
Let's
want to
stream,
do Lego. Okay.
let's stream Friday.
Okay. We'll stream
If I
Friday
install
night.
Fortnite to my console, because I've never played
I
Fortnite.
can't do it Friday.
If I install Fortnite to my console and you don't play with me, Des,
I will play. Is it cross-platform? Because I'm
I
playing on
installed
my
it to
PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should. Be
it's cross-platform. If
you
not,
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
play it on PC. I don't want to play it on
I'll-
PC, but. Hey, Pick Up, you
you
said
can play
thanks
on
for
whatever.
definitely not fried chicken. I'm glad you got. Who got the other two games? It was definitely not fried chicken, Small Land, and Bramble. I had a code for
Small
the.
Land is so fun.
Dude, you had a code for Bramble?
Yeah, we got a code for Bramble. Merge sent it to us.
Nice. Much
We
love.
got the part.
Bramble's a
Listen,
good game.
we got those are our partners, and I'm happy they were able to give us. They gave us some stuff, and there was another game, but I screwed up. Why didn't Fame say he was going to stream Halo? I'm down to stream Halo. I want to play with friends.
He ain't no bot. He a fake bot.
Listen,
Baron
I wish
played Halo earlier today.
he's fraudulent.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I wish,
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
much
yeah,
as
about
I'm the Xbox guy and the Xbot, I wish the Xbox community rocked with me as much as people say that I'm I'm a big Xbox fan, right? I am an Xbox, but the Xbox community don't like me like that. I don't know why, but they don't rock with me like
I
that.
rock with you, and I'm the king Xbox, so that's all that matters.
That's true.
Yeah, that's fact.
Y'all gonna play Halo together then?
He ain't
That's
got
on
no
Fame.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm down. We
Well,
can
this
play anything as long
Friday,
as it's on Game
We're
Pass.
playing
We're
Fortnite.
we're streaming Fortnite.
Yeah.
We're streaming Fortnite,
It
and
will be the one Friday I won't be available. Damn.
We have another Friday.
I want to see
Yeah,
anybody else get
Friday.
those other games. Redeem those games. Redeem those. Well, if you got it,
Redeem them.
you know. Listen, Merry Christmas, Happy
Merry
Hanukkah,
Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler,
New Year.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays.
Before we go, Fame, I need to see the sweater.
Oh yeah, let's get cracking. Oh,
Are you cracking them nuts? That's what you crack. You cracking them nuts, sir?
I love how the
God.
camera does
Don't-
not. It can't focus on.
Don't.
Oh.
I love you.
I
Fame.
love these
I better stop before I start.
Man. No,
That's for the only
Not for
cams.
free.
Oh my
Not for free.
That's extra content.
Listen, we'll
Not
get
for
up out of
free.
here.
What's creeping up to them middies?
Merry Christmas. We'll see y'all. We're gonna be dropping videos. We're not abandoning the channel, but no podcast for 2 weeks. With all that said, congratulations, you guys leveled up to 274. This is the Double XP Podcast. See y'all in a couple weeks. Hit the like button if you haven't on your way out. Subscribe. Shut the stream out. And, OV1Gaming.com. We out this piece.